Okay, Digital Tools students, I am going to be in Photoshop and show you quickly how to clean out a background or clear away the background from your self image, okay? Hopefully you took an image that's conducive to the background that you were given. I provided myself a background that was underwater. It's already sized to be the size of the postcard. I'm just going to take a picture of myself, which I already did. I just use Photo Booth here on my Mac. You could use a camera. You can do whatever you want. Biggest thing to avoid is make sure it's good resolution. It's not too dark. It's not poor lighting. It looks pixelated and blurred. That's going to be trouble from scratch. But also make sure that it's conducive to your environment. For example, I'm trying to look like I'm swimming, so I kind of move my hands and arms like I was swimming. I took a couple photographs. I took more than one, and then I selected which one I desired to work with. I also allowed my background to be a little busier than I hope yours is because I want to show you how to clean out the background in the worst case scenario. So let me open my images, okay? And you can do this as well. Why don't you start with in Photoshop, CS6 or 5 or the Cloud, Creative Cloud. Just go to File, Open, and I have two files, and you should have two files now. You should have your self image, and then you should have your environment. Mine's underwater, so I'm going to open this. You got a little preview of this in the last video. Notice I've already saved it as CMYK, and the mode is CMYK. This is the modality. It goes to image mode. And the resolution, go to image size under image, and you'll see that the resolution is 300. And ooh, my size. I'm going to change my sizing here a little bit, okay? Because I just noticed I've got an issue going. It's not quite wide enough. It should be 4 by 6. I turn constrained proportions off. Now this is going to stretch my images, but I don't think anybody's going to know that these tuna or whatever, shad, whatever these fish are a little bit stretched. Okay, the image changed. It's now 4 by 6 as it should be. I'm going to save that. Okay, I would really not want to stretch my personal image because then people could tell. All right, I want to open up my other image too. By the way, it's image size 300 dpi 4 by 6. So check and make sure yours is correct. By the way, if you're doing something and it's not showing inches, it's showing percent or centimeters or pica, you can go onto these menus and change those all to a different measurement. And the inches is most familiar for most of us. All right, I'm going to also, you can open up many photographs, but I'm going to open up now my selfie that I took, okay? Such as it is. All right. As you can see by the rulers, it's 9 inches by approximately 6.5, 7 inches. That's just what the camera did. That's what my camera on my computer did. I couldn't tell it to do higher resolution, lower, or anything. But I think it's going to be good enough. Yours might be a bit different. Your camera, if it can set it to higher resolution, do it. But some of you may have an image that's 55 inches wide. Well, that's good, but we will scale it down. I think in your instructions I told you to make this image, first of all, CMYK. So I've got my image open. You should too. So step along with me with your image open, and this will work out well. So I'm going to go to Image Mode. Notice it's RGB because that's what my computer took a picture in, mode, RGB. We want it to be CMYK. If you don't have CMYK as an option, then change it to RGB first, and then try to change it again to CMYK. See if that happens for you. So it says I'm about to convert to CMYK, and I'm saying, okay, that's fine and dandy. All right, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, that goofy picture. You can kind of see my pixels. I don't like that, but that's as good as this particular one gets. I think I can clean it up, though, and make it work. All right, I want my resolution to be 300 dpi, and so do you. So notice my picture is 8, almost 9 inches wide by 6 inches wide. I want that resolution to be 300. If you have constrained proportions clicked on, you may see that it does something a bit differently when you type the resolution. But notice it's still 8 or 9 inches wide. I still want it to be pretty good size, and I think I tell you like at least 4 inches, but 300 dpi. I could scale this down later. But either way, just make sure you don't distort or stretch your picture. Over and over again, say do not distort. By the way, this image was 1.17 megabytes. Now it's 20 meg. Pretty big image. 8 inches, a little wider than I'm going to use because my postcard's only 6 inches wide. But you'll see later how I'll reduce it. All right. Wow, it really zooms in because that picture is big. So I'm just going to zoom out. Remember, Command minus or Control minus if you're on a PC. I'm using my move tool. I'm going to zoom that out just a little bit more. Okay. What I want to do is I want to get rid of all of this background here. I'm probably going to show the torso of my body. I may rotate me around so I look like I'm swimming. I was trying to hold my breath, as goofy as that might be. All right, so for us to do this, let's start off. Let's take our image, and first of all, I need to make sure my background is transparent because I want to move an image in to Photoshop that doesn't have a background, but I want to clean it off first here in this mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go select all. So follow along, do this with me. Go to select all, and notice how it catches everything. Say edit, cut, and you should have a plain white background. All right. Now here's a tricky part for us, okay? So get this, we want to make sure our background's transparent. I'm going to say close here. You might think, what are you doing? Remember, we copy that. When we cut, we copy. If you don't want to close it, in fact, let's not close this. Let's just say File, New. Okay, leave this open. Self-image is blank. Say File, New, and we're going to say self-image. I'm going to say 2 because this will be the one that I'll actually use. But the really critical thing is right back here. See where it says background contents white? Let's make it transparent. This is really important, okay? All right, say okay. You'll notice the little checkerboard pattern that you get. This means it's transparent. That grid does not mean anything else but that. So I'm zooming out. I want to paste. I'm going to say edit paste because remember, we control cut. We command X, which is cut. If you didn't know that, the shortcut is command or control X for cut or control C for copy. It didn't matter whether you cut or copy it. Make sure it's copied on the paste board. And then I'm going to say paste. Now my image is here. I need to step back one more time. Let me see something real quick. I'm going to erase this, see if it works. Yeah, as I erase this background, do you see those checkerboards? That means it is transparent back there. Okay. There's a number of ways to do it. You can see what I'm doing already. I'm cleaning this background out. If you had a really clean background, by the way, I mean it was just a solid color, let me undo this. All right, I put this all back by just going edit, undo. And if I did that more than once, I could say step backwards till I got to my original. There's a couple ways to delete the background. There's the magic wand tool, 4 tools down, the quick selection tool, and the magic wand tool. Magic wand tool will, you can kind of click and click large areas. If my background was all white, you know, it might would work, but if I was wearing white clothes and I'm on a white background, it wouldn't work. You can see what's happening. And it gets really kind of crazy to do that. That's why it's better to go another way. So I'm going to undo, step back a few times till I get everything back the way it was. I would suggest that you do this. Even though if you have a solid background, it might work perfectly for you, then try it. Try the magic wand tool. But make sure you don't grab too much color that comes away from your body or your clothing, because then you'll look like you had pieces cut out of your torso or whatever. All right, another tool is this lasso tool. I can actually draw with the lasso tool just to get close as I can, and I'm drawing free-handed, pretty much going around myself. I'm not sure to get too close. I don't want to damage something. I can go off the picture plane, by the way. See how I'm doing this off the picture plane? And then basically I'm going to hit delete, and you can see I've deleted most of the background. So you try that. You know, you might want to pause, but get until you got something that looks like this, okay? I'll give you a second. All right, now let's get back and let's kind of fine-tune this and clean closer. And I think what we can do is you've got your zoom tool, which looks like a little lollipop magnifying glass down at the bottom of the toolbar. I'm going to zoom in on the hand. And the more I zoom in, the more I'm going to see those pixels. I'm using my scroll bar to go up and down, or you can use your space bar and kind of drag and move things with the grabber hand. As long as you're not in a text mode, that will work. If you're in text mode, you'll be hitting spaces. I'm going to use this other tool called the Polygonal Lasso tool. Some of you are going to love this. Some of you are going to just hate this. I can't help it, but it's just what we do. I am going to click, click, click. All right. You see what I'm doing? I'm kind of outlining myself. And I'm trying to be very careful. I'm going to do a little bit at a time, and you'll see kind of what I'm doing. And if it's a little blur and fuzzy, which mine is, I have to be really careful. And then I'm going to hit delete. As long as you close the form up, you can do a little bit at a time. And you see what I'm doing. I'm cleaning off the edges. I'm going to have to do this around my entire body. If this is too painstaking for you, I just apologize, but that's just the life of a graphic designer and an illustrator and a photo manipulator. We have to do this. So as cleanly as you can see why the more focused your artwork is, your photograph, the easier this will be. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I'm going to clean it up, and then I'll come back to meet with you. So why don't you do the same? Clean up your photograph as well as you can, and then continue this video in a moment, okay? Come in.